Hello, and welcome to our podcast. Today, we are exploring an exciting topic: how anthropology is making waves in the labor market, specifically in education. Education is more than teaching facts, it's about shaping people and their ability to connect with society. As anthropologists, we're trained to understand humans in all their complexity, and that makes us uniquely suited to transform education. We'll explore how anthropological skills are being applied in schools, universities, and policymaking, and why the educational sector offers tremendous career opportunities for us. Throughout this episode, we'll hear insights gathered from interviews and literature, touching on key challenges and opportunities in education today. So let's dive in. The process of learning can be an incredibly complex one. Therefore, it is no surprise that within the educational sciences, there is a huge amount of didactical models that theorize about the process of learning, and specifically learning efficiently. Learning requires all kinds of different levels of understanding, while the word understanding itself is already quite abstract. In the early 20th century, there was an American philosopher and pedagogue by the name of John Dewey. John Dewey started writing about how education must be meaningful. And by meaningful, he meant that the traditional system lacked a certain level of individual attention, in which the teacher stays close to the student. Understanding the student in their interests, within their world, and the development phase they are in is deemed essential for more effectiveness. Teaching has to become a didactical game in which the teacher also studies their students closely. In our analysis of the educational sector, we encountered much discussion about the individualization of education, similar to Dewey's theorizations. This is a trend that seems very fitting to the anthropological work field. Our ethnographic skills allow us to see the social and cultural contexts that shape learning, making us valuable in roles like student support, teacher training, or even curriculum design. One of the people we interviewed was, his name was Wang, a local education minister in China. Much like Dewey, Wang emphasized that the essence of education lies in respect and love, understanding each student's unique circumstances. He shared a powerful story about a student from a working class family who was struggling academically and acting out. And by connecting with the student's family and providing support after school, the teacher not only improved the student's grades, but also restored trust and motivation. Wang also highlighted a key concern: the rise of online education and AI tools. While these technologies can improve efficiency, they cannot replace the human connection that education relies on. Wang believes that face-to-face interaction is essential for students to develop emotionally and socially. And this brings us back to the idea of interactive teaching, education that doesn't just rely on lectures, but fosters communication, cooperation, and real-world practice. Then, not only in China, but also in the Netherlands, there appears to be a trend in which the diverse needs of students and the world outside of the school curriculum becomes more important. We talked to Sanne, a social studies teacher in the Netherlands, and an anthropology graduate too. She draws on the anthropological training to build connections with her students. She believes that to truly teach, you must first understand the individual, their interests, their challenges, their motivations. And one of the things she strongly believes is that everyone is motivated for something. However, in this collective system in which everyone is following the same education in the same classroom, it is simply impossible to motivate everyone. And so Sanne opts for a style of teaching in which rapport building is the basis. If you do not have a good relationship with your students, you cannot teach them anything. Because of this vision, Sanne started playing a major role in the national policies that help schools improve on creating education that goes beyond the content of their tests, that's more focused on the individual's needs. And her role in what is called the citizenship program is focused on improving the social awareness of students, but also their independence and their motivations. We also started looking for practical examples of more individualized forms of teaching. For instance, in the Nakaya people in South India, for them, education is not about memorization. Instead, it's about learning through social interaction, how to be together with others, especially in a community setting. This challenges traditional ideas of education and suggests that there is value in experimental learning and play. While possessing detailed knowledge of the forest they live in, Nakaya adults do not actively teach their children about it. Instead, children learn through their experiences, relationships, and interactions with the world around them. This ethnographic example provides valuable insights for modern educators looking to create learning environments that are more human centered and less about structures of discipline. So, what can anthropologists actually add to the educational sector? What we find is that there are many roles to take on as an anthropologist. For instance, anthropologists can design curricula that reflect the diverse experiences of students, ensuring that education feels relevant and meaningful. Wang's story about understanding a student's family, it highlights how anthropology can break hidden barriers to learning and help overcome them. Or in policy making, like Sanne, the Dutch teacher, she's already influencing education policy. She believes that with our holistic perspective, anthropologists can advocate for policies that address systemic inequities and foster more inclusive learning environments. But also, like Wang mentioned, anthropologists could also add or work with tech developers to ensure that digital tools enhance rather than replace human connections in educations, because these human connections, that's where the anthropologist comes in. To wrap up, education is a field that's asking for anthropological insight, whether it's shaping curricula, influencing policy, or addressing complex societal issues. The skills we bring as anthropologists are uniquely suited to the challenges of modern education. Anyway, that was it for today, and thank you for joining me on this journey through the intersections of anthropology and education. If you are considering a career in this field, remember your ability to understand people and systems can make a real difference.